Hey guys, it's Abiola here.
Hey, it's James.
And welcome back to our channel. So, just based off of the title, you guys know what we're talking about today. So, many of you guys see the glory. We've been married now a little over a year and a half. It'll be 2 years in October. But there is a story to how we got to where we are. So, we did break up before we started courting. And we're going to share that story with you guys today. So, if you want to know why we broke up, please keep watching. It was not a pretty breakup. Well, we actually weren't together, right? No, it's the truth. We weren't really
queen.
We really weren't together, but we were talking, I guess, and then we just broke everything off. And we're going to share why. I have my own opinion. He has his own opinion. We actually still don't agree on some of the details. But you guys be the judge and let us know whose side you are on. If you're Team Abiola, thumbs up. If you're Team James, give us a comment, okay? So, here we go.
You know, I had just finished school. I was focused on, building a career, and I didn't really feel like I had time for a relationship. And I shared that with her. She said that we decided, but it wasn't really we, it was more so her. She just stopped talking to me.
I'll share why. Go ahead.
Just let me do what I'm doing. But yeah, so she just kind of stopped talking to me, and I didn't have any hard feelings about it. It was so abrupt. I was kind of confused, but I just let it be. So that was kind of my perspective on what happened.
So we met at Penn State in the spring of 2012. I lived in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. He lived in Philly. So when the semester ended, he went back to Philly. I went back to Harrisburg. We met in February. We didn't see each other a lot. But like around April, May, we were always together. We went to lunch a lot of times. And we took walks. So, mixed signals. Mixed signals. Mind you, we're both single. I'll just be honest, we did kiss too. We knew there was an attraction and we talked about it. We never committed to one another as far as like setting a date, like we're going to be together. So here am I. In my mind, I'm just thinking about like these last few days we spent together at Penn State, and then I don't hear from him. So I think your phone was off. Was that what it was?
Yep.
His phone was off, and we used to we used to tango. So you guys remember Tango, like the Skype and Tango app? He would always tango me randomly, and I was always excited to hear from him. But for me, it was just like, it was so inconsistent. I did wait until marriage. He is my first and only. Like, we didn't have sex before we got married. I had no previous partners. But for me, it was like, I was so intentional about who I spent my time with, who I put effort into. It wasn't, to me, I don't even believe in dating. Like, where's this going? Like, I want to know your intentions right away because I don't have time to waste. Like, I really don't. And I'm not into investing my effort, my emotions into someone, and it doesn't go anywhere. Like, to me, that's just unnecessary stress. I knew he knew where my head was. So I was like, I'm not crazy for expecting certain things. I didn't know these things were going on. So I'm reaching out to him. And we probably spoke like every 3 weeks at that time. Like, throughout that summer, it was like every 3 weeks.
Every 2 weeks, I remember.
Okay.
We talked about this before. Don't try to draw it out. We're going.
Okay.
It still was a long time.
I'm going to say it was still every 2 weeks.
For her, it was a long time. Not necessarily for me, but go ahead.
You went to a different school every single year. Once he started to let me in, I was like, oh, like I can understand that. Why didn't you just communicate that? I have a best friend. My siblings and I are all really tight. I have like a group of friends that I'm really close to. We talk all the time. So for him, he didn't have that experience with anybody. I was used to those kind of relationships in my life where I was close to people. There was like constant communication, and then it was him.
I grew up in a military family. Both my mom and my dad both were served in the military. Shout out to all the people that are in the military. Thank you for your service. Both of my parents were in the military, so I traveled, growing up. I didn't really get a chance to get close to people when you travel so much. So for her best friend, how long have you guys been friends? Your group of best friends, because she has more than one.
Like 10 years.
So 10 years.
10 plus years. I mean, it ranges person to person, but at least 10 years for most of my friends.
Right. So there weren't many people that I even knew for that long. For me, relationships just kind of came and went. Never felt the need to be extremely open. I was always a listener. I'm a Virgo. I'm very analytical. I analyze other people. People usually don't analyze me. So
yeah.
People say, why are you so quiet? I'm not quiet. I'm more observant. I just watch.
Once I started to learn him, and it was extremely important because you want to be spoken to the way you speak to people.
Exactly.
Like, that's just how we work as human beings. We communicate and we receive information the way that we do, and we expect everyone else around us to accommodate us. So he was a very different communicator. As he just said, he was more of a listener. So there'll be times Like, I'll be on the phone. I'm like, hello, are you there? He's like, yeah. I'm like, you're not saying anything. He's like, I'm listening. I'm like, well, talk. Like, I can't see you. Like, I need to hear your voice to know that you're still on the phone.
Right, and then I'll start talking, and then I'll say one or two sentences, and then she'll go back to talking like, yeah, because this and this. You see, she talks during most of the videos. I don't know if you noticed, but she does most of the talking. So that's really how it is in our relationship.
And it works. He's not complaining.
I'm not complaining.
You're not complaining, right? Okay, good. Going back to that summer, it was just tough. You know, I had developed feelings for him, and I knew, y'all, this is gonna sound so shallow. But since I was a young girl, like, I knew my husband would be dark skinned. I know he'll be at least 6'3", which he is. Like, I had a very, like, straight to the point checklist. And obviously some things weren't as important. All of them were important, but some things I was like, okay, I could live without that. But I was very clear.
Total package.
Yes, y'all. Send me a hug. Send me a hug. Don't mess with my bone.
All right.
But y'all, like, I prayed for him. And I remember, like, when we met, it wasn't very clear when we first met that this was, like, the ordained man for me. But through all of that hardship, I remember thinking to myself, this is not worth it. Like, this dude doesn't call me. And it was just weird. Like, I was over it. It was confirmed to me multiple times just through conversations that we had. We agreed on so many, like, the smallest of things we agreed on. When we met, he was celibate. So I was already waiting for marriage. And, you know, he had already, you know, been sexually active before that, but he recommitted himself to Christ. So, like, you don't meet men like that. So for me to meet someone like that, I'm like, I was willing to work on it to see, like, okay, let me at least try my hardest. If it doesn't work out, I know I gave it my all. Ladies, if a guy travels to visit you, he buys you lunch, you guys are taking a really romantic walk along, like, really nice scenery, that was, like, to me, it was like, okay, despite all the stuff we just went through, we can move forward from here. Boy, was I wrong.
Sent a message to, we were both in the Penn State Black Caucus group me, and so this was the time that my phone was off. You know, like you said, financially I was struggling, and most men, you can relate to this, if you're not in a place financially where you feel like you can be in a relationship, you won't even pursue it. And that's where I was. I hadn't spoken to her in maybe a week or two.
That was longer than
no, I don't know how long it was, but I told her my phone was off. So she said I didn't communicate. I told her my phone was off, and I sent a message to the group me from my phone, but it popped up. It popped up in her phone as the same way she had me saved in a contact. So I guess she had an emoji next to my name.
I had his name. It said Mr. Booker, and it had like a heart next to it. And I do recall one time he sent a message to the group, and it didn't show up like that in my phone. It showed up like whatever the group saved you under. Maybe it was like James Booker. I don't remember. I had already dropped myself out of the group because I didn't want to keep receiving the notifications. I didn't go to school anymore, so it was like whatever. But I remember logging back in, and sure enough, it was like Mr. Booker with the heart, and I was like, oh, so his phone's back on.
So now,
I'm embarrassed. Go ahead, just say it.
You should be embarrassed. Yeah. I sent her a message through an app. It was very short with her responses. I was like, hey, you know, what's going on? Like, nothing. Like, you know, how you been? How's everything? Good. You know, a little while into the conversation, she finally is like, I heard that your phone was back on. Must be nice.
Oh my God, I did say that.
Very passive aggressive. So I'm like, okay, where'd you hear that from? And she's like, no, I'm sorry. Let me correct myself. I should say saw. So I said, okay, so where'd you see that?
And he was just annoying. Like, just you know your phone's on. If it ain't on, just say it ain't on. Why you saying going back and forth with me? I'm clearly upset with you.
Why does it matter? I was like, well, I guess it doesn't.
And see, this is what annoyed me so much about him early on.
She was just short with me, so I was just returning.
No, you've always been short. So, and that's the thing. If you see that I'm short, then you start to be long-winded. Like, do you really want me? Like, you seem so nonchalant about everything. I'm upset. Chill. I'm happy. You chill. It's like you need to, like, I want to feel pursued. Like, I read the Bible and I read many books, and it was very clear. Like, when a man wants you, he pursues you. He professes his love for you. He makes you a priority. Like, I didn't feel like I was anything to him. It's like for you to reach out to me and, like, I just clearly said to you, like, I heard your phone was on, and you saw that I was upset. Like, I don't act like that. And if I'm acting out of the ordinary, it's like, okay, she's clearly upset. Let me see what's wrong.
Didn't know until after the fact.
I was just so upset with him, and I really wanted an opportunity just to talk and we couldn't. And I was just like, I'm done. Like, I'm so over this. I was stressed. And for what? Like, we weren't in a relationship. I remember just being like, why am I stressing over this kid? Like, what has he done for me? But it was just like this conviction, like, I know he's like an amazing guy. He just needs some help.
You know, I had to say, you know, my phone's not on. I don't know where you're getting your information from. If my phone was on, I would have reached out to you sooner. And, you know, it just kind of was what it was. After that, you know, no apology or anything.
You know, I didn't feel like I did anything wrong.
Right.
This is something that's like the biggest issue. There was another girl involved. Y'all weren't like involved, but you just wasn't like completely forthcoming about everything. And I was just hearing stuff from other people that I trusted. You know, people who knew both him and I. I don't know enough about this girl. But here I am in Harrisburg. I don't talk to him every day. He lives in Philly. This girl lives in Philly. They have history together. Like, they've been together. I wasn't comfortable with. And I remember, like, I'm not your girlfriend, so do I have a place asking you about your past? But I needed to know just so I wasn't wasting any more of my time. And I remember asking you about this girl, and again, nonchalant. It just wasn't a big deal. And it took a lot for me to come out and ask that because I didn't want to seem insecure. Like, I wasn't insecure. I know that you've been involved with someone that you still hang out with. You, as a gentleman, and you may not be emotionally attached to this woman, but again, the same way you were sending me mixed signals by spending time with me and calling me, it's the same thing with her. It's like, because she feel the same way about you that I feel about you, and you don't think she does because you've moved on, but how do you know that she's moved on? I didn't think that he would have had that conversation like, oh, we good, you still like me, and would have been willing to just say like, okay, we shouldn't be hanging out anymore because I'm talking to someone else. And that never happened. I remember asking like, did you have this conversation? No, it's not that big a deal. It just wasn't a big deal to, and it was really important to me. And I remember asking him like, do you still see potential in this girl? And you told me yes.
I had to work the next morning. I asked to get off the phone, and she thought it was important, and I did.
Yeah, it was important. You're talking to another girl, and like, you didn't think that's important? You spend all this time with me, like.
Not if I have to work in the morning.
Oh, you'll just be tired at work.
Selfish.
I had to be selfish. It seemed like you didn't care enough about my feelings, so I was like, I'm gonna just get to the bottom of this. And it was, like I said, it was so hard. I remember my heart racing. Like, I didn't want to hear what I heard, and I heard what I heard. And I remember just getting off the phone like, okay, well, you know, I'm really sorry to hear that, but I can't continue to invest my time in you when you still see potential in someone else. Like, there's nobody else I'm talking to. Like, I've been so vulnerable with you, and it's just not reciprocated. And then I just stopped talking to him. Months had gone by at that point. And you reached out to me. You sent me some message later on. I remember responding like, please don't talk to me. You remember that? That long text message?
I do remember, yeah.
I sent him a very long message. I was like, please stop reaching out to me. I can't be your friend. Like, I know what I want from you. If you can't be available to me in that way, then I don't even want to be your friend. I already have those feelings for you. I can't just accept you in my life as a friend and, you know, still be attracted to you in that way. Just forget about the times that we spent together. Like, I didn't want that. Does that make sense? If that makes sense to y'all, thumbs up this video, please. You really broke my heart. Like, I've been so honest with you. I told you how I felt about you. You told me you felt the same way. And then come to find out you're still attracted to this girl that you have history with. You guys live in the same area. You still hang out. Y'all still talk on the phone. Y'all been traveling together. Even though it was for business, it still didn't matter. Like, you spend so much time with this girl. And you call me every 2 weeks. Like, I remember I cried about that. I was really upset about it. Even just talking about it now, I'm like, ugh. It's just, ugh. That was a really hard place for me. But, yeah, I sent him this really long message. I'm like, you know, you need to grow up. You have a lot of growing up to do. You know, you misled me for so long. My heart was broken. Like, you need to leave me alone. I need to move on from you. Like, I'm not going to let you ruin who I'm supposed to be for my future husband. That was my mindset. And I remember now, this was October of 2013. It's like a whole year and a half later. November came and went, and then December came. One of the pastors that I listen to a lot, his name is Dr. Tony Evans. He had a series going on about the godly family, and he talked about what a godly husband is, a godly wife, you know, how to raise godly children. And I remember listening to this audio over and over, because at that time I was just like, I just want to be the best person I could be. There was a lot of stuff that I genuinely loved about him. Like, I loved him at that point. I was literally like in love with this kid, and it was for like what? I was just so mad because in the past, if a dude got on my nerves, like, I dropped you. Like, I talked to guys in the past, and if you just didn't meet my standards, like, I didn't talk to you. I believe that if I don't see you as my husband, why am I talking to you? Like, that was, is that not true?
I mean, I don't know you beforehand.
But even with you, was that not true?
Yeah.
I was very clear to you. I want more. You don't want to give me more. So there's no point in being your friend, because I don't want to be your friend. I can't be your friend and watch you date another. Like, what? December came around, and I'm listening to this audio, and it just brought back fond memories of the conversations we shared. And I was like, man, he would have been a great husband, but oh well.
There were a lot of things that she wanted that I wasn't giving her. So I definitely don't think I was treating her like she was my girlfriend. I could see where the mixed signals came from, but I did come see her once. I'm in Harrisburg.
You tangle me all the time, though. Like, you don't tangle somebody for like hours at a time. I don't even do that with my friends. Like, I don't have male friends that I talk to like that. Right. So to have you in my life and we talk in that way, and I share with you, I love you, I want, like, I was so clear, like,
I don't know,
this is what I want. And I remember you saying, like, I don't want to be in a relationship. Okay, so then why are we still talking? And then you call me. But the crazy thing is, I would pick up. ladies, I plead to y'all. Know your worth. Why did you treat me like that?
I don't.
December, I'm so convicted. I remember just being like so mad. Like, God, this is not a bridge I want to cross. Like, I burnt that bridge. I'm over this kid. Like, why is he still in my heart? I be trying to read my Bible and like stuff be jumping out at me, like, you know, reconcile this relationship, and I'm just like, ugh. I didn't want to do it. I just felt so emotional, and I was like, I need to talk to somebody about this. So I called my best friend, and I'm like, I feel like I need to call him. Like, I don't feel like I did anything wrong, but I feel like I need to apologize. And she was just like, just do it. I'm like, for what? What did I do wrong? And she agreed with me, like, yeah, it's your best friend. They always take your side, even if you're wrong. But she was like, it doesn't matter. Like, be obedient. I was like, okay, you're right. Because this is like 2 weeks at this point. So I dialed, and I was praying he didn't pick up, and he didn't. And I was like, oh, all right, God, see, it ain't worth it. I did it. He ain't answer the phone. So, whatever. Called my best friend back. I was like, girl, I just called him. He didn't pick up. Oh, well. She was like, call him again. I was like, no. I just called him. Like, I did what I was supposed to do. Like, can y'all all get off my back? You, Jesus, like, get off my back. And she was like, no, like, he probably thought it was a prank, or maybe he thought it was a butt dial. Like, why would he assume that you meant to call him? I'm like, because you should.
Right, which makes no sense. When I pulled the phone out, like, as soon as I pulled the phone out, the call went away. So I figured, oh yeah, maybe it was just her niece that called me or something like that. It was an accident. So I just put the phone back in my pocket. Because to me, it looked like she dialed it and then hung up right away.
You didn't see it ring.
Right, I didn't see the ring. So I was like, whatever. You know, nonchalant James.
And I remember calling back again, God, please don't let this kid answer. I don't feel like dealing with this. Like, I'm just trying to be obedient so you can get off my back. And he picked up the phone. And I was like, I remember sweating. It was like, I was just mad at myself. Like, why you acting like this? Like, he ain't nobody. Like, why you so hung up over this kid? Like, you over here sweating, stressing yourself out. I was just mad. I'm like, he ain't do nothing for you. Why you treating him like this? Like, you got some sort of hold on your heart. He did, though. And back then, I felt like I apologized. I was like, look, I'm not sorry for what I said, because you needed to hear all of that.
If you start off a conversation with, I'm not sorry, it's not an apology. I just want to let y'all know, ladies and gentlemen, if you start off a conversation with, I'm not sorry, that it's not an apology. So
I did. I was like, well, and I was honest. I'm calling you because I've listened to this audio, and it's talking about this godly husband. You did some stuff right, but I just feel convicted. So, like I said, I'm not sorry for what I said. You need to hear all of that. You did break my heart. You was playing around with me. But
I wasn't sweating it. I was, you know.
Yeah, I was
I answered the phone. I was very friendly.
Yeah, I was so surprised. I honestly thought that he'd be like, what you want? Like, why you calling me? But he was so sweet. I remember you reaching out to me when you got home. You showed me how the event went. And we just kind of took it slow. You know, we called each other maybe every other week. I was really afraid to get close to him again. There was a Robert Kiyosaki real estate event in Philly that I was interested in going to. I didn't tell him I was coming because I didn't want to see him yet. I wasn't ready to see him.
It turned out that we were actually going to the same event.
Oh, I didn't go to Philly that day because I was going to the courthouse to get sworn in to become a notary public. And that's when I told you, like, yeah, I was going to come to Philly today, blah, blah, blah. And you were like, oh, wow. I was going to go to the same event. But I think your battery...
car just wouldn't start, so I ended up not going.
And I felt phony. Like, I didn't want to be in Philly, and then he run into me at the event and like, you didn't tell me he was coming. And I'm like, I didn't want to see you yet. Like, I don't trust myself to see you. That's really what it was.
I don't be caring about that stuff.
Yeah, you don't, but for me, I was protecting my peace. This is 2014. My birthday came around, and I was like, I shouldn't even invite him to my party, because I don't want him showing up and like just ruining my birthday party. I want to be with my friends. And I was like, you know what? I think he knows better than to just come and act like a fool. Like, I think he'll come and he'll act correct.
She's never known me to act like a fool. I don't know where this is coming from.
This is in context. I didn't see you as a friend, so I didn't want you to show up and, you know, be all on me and like still getting the mixed signals.
I've never been like that. I don't know.
No,
I don't want you to think. Listen, guys. I don't want you to think.
No, don't act like whenever you didn't come visit me, we weren't holding hands. Like, I didn't want that to happen. I didn't want you to come to my birthday party and then confuse me again. You're like zero. You do nothing. You're like so nonchalant and basic.
No blank canvas.
So if you then hold my hand, that's a big deal. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's applicable just to you. My experiences with you. For you to not do anything and then to initiate holding my hand or even bringing me a birthday card. Like, I didn't expect him to bring me a card. I just thought he'd show up, eat dinner, and leave.
Right. So I don't know where this stuff is coming from. That's all I'm saying.
I have to think the worst to prepare myself so that I'm not acting crazy when you show up. And
all right.
That's what it was.
It's okay. For the record, though.
Again, protecting my peace. Ladies, protect your peace. He came in a 3-piece suit. Everybody was like, okay. Well, that man lied to me. I was like, he came in a suit for my birthday dinner. It was so cute. I'm going to insert the pictures here so you guys can see what he looked like.
She said it was formal.
I didn't say black tie though.
I was over. Formal?
Everybody else had on like sweater vests and like jeans and, you know, so Chelsea boots. He had on a full suit. But it meant that was supposed to happen because it meant a lot to me. And it was just the two of us. And we had not seen each other at that time in like 8 or 9 months. It was a long time. And I was very scared to be alone with him because I didn't want to give him an opportunity to, I just wasn't ready to believe him. Like, in my mind, I was like, he's a scumbag. Like, in my mind, I had to teach myself that he was like a bad person.
Drama queen.
In my mind, I had to say, he's just bad for you. I wasn't ready to love him again. But that night was perfect. We talked about, like, everything. It was finally the opportunity when we were in person. You know, there wasn't any, my phone's dying, I gotta go to work. We were just there. We were present. And we talked literally until the sun came up. I said to you, James, I want to be with you. Do you want to be with me? And you said yes. These past few months have been very hard for me. I still think about you every day. Like, I want this to go somewhere. But if that's not what you want, that's fine. We can just figure this out. Like, I don't know if we can still be friends. I don't know yet. But this is what I want, and I need to know where you are.
Here's the thing. I think a lot of men suffer from FOMO, which is, you know, fear of missing out. And I think that's where I was. Am I ready to commit the rest of my life to one person? That's what was really going through my mind. And then I put things into perspective, and I just thought to myself, well, will you ever find another woman like this? A metaphor for something being rare. I mean, I don't know. I can't think of one, but
I'm a unicorn. Oh, I have one.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, how cute.
Definitely a unicorn. So, and that's what the situation was. You know, for me, one of the biggest things was that she saved herself for marriage, and that's like huge. That in itself was big enough. You know, there were other things about her personality too, and I just looked at her like, you know, you're gonna either capitalize on the opportunity or miss out, and you know, I'm rewarded every day for the opportunity that I capitalized on. So, and that's what my mentality was. I'm very logical. I'm sorry that it doesn't sound so romantic, but I'm very analytical, Virgo, like I said, logical, and it just made sense at the time. So that's where I was. That's where my mindset was.
I remember just looking at you. I was in the passenger seat, and I was just staring at him, and I was just so mad. I was like, I hate you.
You
remember that?
I remember this. You told me she hate me. I'm like, what? Oh, like, what's wrong with you? She was, so she was mad because she had those feelings for me. She told me she hated me. She hated me because because of how I was so nonchalant about everything, and she hated that she was thinking about me still for all of that time.
I was so like, I was just
she
mad
had the
at
hots
myself.
for me.
Don't call it that. That sounds cute, and it was not.
That's
cute.
what it was.
I was really annoyed. Thank God to this day, you know, my relationship with him is very intimate. I just remember like very blatant direction from him, like you know, and it's not like you hear like a deep voice in your head. I knew we were meant to be together, and I knew that required me to just like meet him where he was. Like, okay, I'm willing to let go of 1 or 2 things, but you got to meet me right here. And there was some things that just were non-negotiable, like delete that girl. You can't talk to her. Yeah, like for real. Why we still communicating with exes? Like there was no need. That was really why we stopped talking. Like you can't talk to her and other girls that's from your past for what? Like leaving Cleveland just for your family. That's with everything. Like if you really say you care about me in this way, you see me as your wife, you gotta start acting like that now. It's not like I'm gonna treat you this way, and then once we get married, I get it. No, like I need to see these things in practice now, so that I'm not blindsided once we're married. That's what it is with any relationship. Marriage is just whatever we are today magnified. So if you're married to a jerk, someone who doesn't come home, if you see that now in your relationship, don't hope that once we have a baby together, or once we move in together, once I have his last name, that it'll change. Whoever they are is who they're going to be once they get married. So that's what it was. I was really like seriously vetting him. Like if we're going to be together, we're saying right now, February 9th, 2014, that from here on out we're going to be this is what I expect. And I said, what do you expect? And he gave me his list of things. And I'm like, okay, I want to meet you where you are. It was really like a business transaction. But that's how you should treat your people. Like you really got to treat the relationships in your life. Take inventory of them. Like how is this relationship serving me? And whatever you need in your life, how can I serve you in that way? And that's the conversation that we had. And there was still some miscommunications. It wasn't like we got it, we're good.
Not at all.
We still had some rocky road. And then again, we were still in 2 different cities. We still like it was nothing really changed other than we decided we're going to commit to making it work. But thank you guys for watching our video. And are you team Abiola? Are you team James?
That's not a fair question.
It is. It is.
Team James
we
all
presented
day.
We presented our cases today for you guys.
She did a lot more talking than I did. And she
it doesn't matter.
Left out some very key details, but
like
it's
what?
okay. Like that time we saw each other at Millersville. So
Yeah.
Team James all day.
No, babe, it doesn't matter. You are the man. It's your job to be very like. Let's just be honest. If we had a daughter and she's dating a dude that treated me the way treated her the way you treated me, would you be okay?
I don't know what you're saying because I didn't treat you bad.
Yes.
I treated you well.
No, you didn't.
Team James all day.
No, you didn't. No. Team Abiola. If you're Team Abiola, please like this video. Matter of fact, comment that too. Team Abiola. Don't worry about him.
Team James.
He's nonchalant, so he don't care. I care. I care.
Whatever.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to our channel. Share this video. Any questions that you have, feel free to comment them below. We would love to interact with you guys. Anything you want to say since I talk so much?
See you next time. Comment. I'm happy to reply to any comments that you leave at the bottom of the video. Like, share, subscribe. See you next week.
Yeah, and we didn't forget, we're going to do the ancestry test very soon. So yeah, if you guys want James to be Nigerian like I do, let me know. But of course, we'll take whatever he is because you're already here, babe. Alright, bye you guys. We'll see you guys next Monday. So I already promised I would insert some pictures from my 21st birthday. You guys can see his suit. He doesn't have on his jacket in these pictures, unfortunately. But don't we look so cute? Let's pause right here. Why didn't anybody tell me that my wig was crooked? I thought I was so cute wearing a blonde wig. Never again. He probably pissed me off in this picture. But anyway, talk to you guys later.